On today's episode of So You Want to Be a Wholesaler, we're going to show you how to pull cash buyers lists. And my humor's free. You don't have to pay extra for that. So look, one of the biggest concerns people have when they first start wholesaling is how do I find cash buyers? So I'm going to show you guys a multitude of ways to do this, that if you have a deal and you've done this and can't sell it, you didn't really get a deal. Chances are you paid too much money. So I'm going to just do this one particular zip code, punch it into PropStream, and click cash buyers. And we've got 503. Now we're going to want to filter this down a little bit more because we're not looking for owner occupants that just happen to pay cash. So we're going to do non-owner occupied. We don't really care if it's a individual or a company that bought the property. And we may want to do something like last sale date in the past, say 2-3 months. We're looking for people that are actively buying. So this is the one guy I would call the start. I wouldn't put too much stock in the number of deals, but I would make sure you remove owner occupied. I would also probably, I wouldn't worry about anything that's listed because it could be a flipper. And I would start with just, properties closest to your deal. So, if I'm up over here, I would start with this guy, pull the details. That one's owned by the state, so that's not going to help you. Awesome. Non-owner occupied, doesn't live there. Says he purchased it for cash. It looks like they bought it off the MLS. They paid $33,000. So I can actually click the pictures on this one, flick through them, and wow, mine's in quite a bit better shape than this. It's not graffitied on all the walls. It doesn't have blue carpet that looks like it's growing black mold. Wow, he paid $33,000 for this. You may call him and, hey, I've got one around the corner from you. It looks like it's in way better shape than what you just bought over on 21 North Chester. If you're interested in selling, let me know. As far as skip tracing for these go, I would use either Spokio.com or Skip Genie. Skip Genie is super solid. The owner of it is a guy named Larry Higgins. Their data right now is actually the best data out for real estate investors. You're not allowed to tell anybody that I said data because that sounds super redneck. So, all right, that's how we can pull these in PropStream if we're really trying to be pretty geographical. Another thing you can do here in list source is, let's say I'm in that same zip code, 46201, and I'm going to go property type to match the deal. So if I've got a single family, I should probably be looking for single family buyers. And there we are. Now I'm going to do equity percentage. And I'm going to do like, pretty much they own this thing free and clear. And then I'm going to do absentee owned, no preference on that. So we've got 2,345 kind of investors in this particular zip code. And then I'm going to come over to property, and I'm also going to add in last market sale date, and we'll do the last 6 months. So 212 people. So I would go and purchase this list. This is much more like efficient and scalable than, say, searching one-offs through PropStream. So it just kind of depends your budget, your appetite, what that looks like. I'd remove duplicates because I don't care if the guy owns 12 units. I'm just trying to sell him his 13th, purchase that list, and then check out. So that would be how you would do it through ListSource. If you have access to the MLS, this is honestly how I sell the vast majority of my deals. I run a search for properties that have sold within that zip code. and say the last 6 months. You can also, in some MLSs, add in some of this stuff like sold terms. So cash. And I would do actually in that entire zip code. So in the past 6 months, there's been 117 properties that have sold for cash. So we do results, select all of this data, export it, and then we email the brokers that were involved with this transaction. Hey, I've got a deal at 123 Main Street. If you're interested in selling it, I'd like to buy it from you. We do have a scraper that will take that Excel file, log into your Gmail account, and type one-to-one messages. Cost on that's like $500. I will link to it in the below of this video. If you're in our mastermind, the early version of that is free for you. So just ping me privately if you're in there, and we'll get that over to you. And then it's really one of those ways you can just kind of show up. It keeps you out of like the promotions box. You end up in their inbox. There's no unsubscribe. They can't tell that you sent this to, in this instance, 117 other people. There's another tool you can use called GMass that works kind of similarly, but they're a recurring membership and they have kind of some limits to them. Last thing I'm going to show you, and I'm going to be super blunt, I don't really love or care for this Facebook group. It's massive. There's like 100,000 people in it. A lot of like super shady people that are doing business the wrong way. But one of the perks is there's a lot of people in here that are legit buyers that post all the time. So for instance, let's say I have a deal in Indianapolis. If you just search Indianapolis, just back on May 3rd, somebody said, hey, I'm looking for cash buyers. All you got to do is go through and snag these emails. I've got a buddy that's a kind of like remote wholesaler, and he does what this guy's doing. Just snags those emails and emails the people. Any buyers looking for fix and flips? Look, people tagging me in it, right? So, list of off-market properties available, people throwing out email addresses. I know some of these people. Some of them are legit buyers, some of them aren't, but some of them really are, right? So another good way to just kind of add to your buyers list when you get a deal. Realistically, if you got a deal, you're not going to have a hard time selling it.